time doing like a little let's build tutorial for Nordhagen Beach, where you can use the shack that's already there and one of these concrete shack foundations to build yourself a little personal raider penthouse. So first of all, line up that concrete shack foundation as closely parallel as you can. Get a wall, get one of the small ones, it'll snap up there. Then after that, take one of the upper floors, so the one that goes up top there, and then you're going to want another shack foundation, the one with the supports. And as you can see, it goes a little bit into the shack, but if you don't use that shack, which I didn't, it doesn't really matter. Now this next part, I kind of wanted to make a little walkway, and of course I wanted to make it look like it's not floating, so you get the stairs there, you can snap them on perfectly, put another concrete shack foundation. Even though it's floating a little bit, it looks a lot better. And then after that, you're just gonna make, you know, the little small floors there so you can make a perfect walkway. See, Codsworth is already stuck, you can't go on there yet. And then on the other side, of course, you just want to kind of do the same thing. Make sure that it's actually okay so that little fucker can get through, and then put some stairs if you need to. Make it go into the ground so it actually looks, you know, acceptable. And it's up to you kind of what stairs you want. I always like using the big ones. I don't know, I just feel like they work better. The other side, I went ahead and actually used the smaller ones just because they snapped right in, went right into the ground. Alright, so after that, to change it up, make sure you have some variety. I put in this door, but the metal frame door. And then after that, definitely make sure you have a landing, because just having a door with a ladder or stairs up to it just kind of looks funny. And the great thing is though, with the new patch 1.4, you can actually have some doors that open inward, so if you don't want the landing, you don't have to have it. But again, go ahead, choose whatever door. If you want the door to open outward, you can, but it just kind of looks silly and it just kind of defeats the whole purpose. But again, go ahead, choose the door, whichever the hell you want, place it in there, and then we're going to go up to the actual second floor. This kind of, you know, I don't know, little foyer area. I guess as a raider you wouldn't have that shit, but whatever. So after that, again, you want to keep it with that whole variety style, so I placed that little actual metal wall there. And I mean, unfortunately you can't really put the ends there unless you do the little glitch where you put the wood one, put the wall in, and then you take it out. If you want to do that, you can, but I stayed with the whole raider aesthetic of making it look like scrap and junk. So you'll see in a few seconds where I just use basically like a bureau or a shelf or wardrobe, whatever the hell you call it. And I don't really want to use like the one that has a window. Normally I do, because you can see everything, but again, it's my own personal raider penthouse. I wanted to make it perfect and just for me. And then take one of the little quarter pieces, the corner ones. If you want to use the wood one, go ahead. I use the little metal one that looks kind of metal and wood, just to give it a little variety, make it look like the actual metal wall there is going into the wood wall. And then you can see the file cabinet. I love this one because you can get it pretty much as close as you want, and it kind of creates a little blocking area so nobody falls off, or you know, you don't accidentally. Then after that, I kind of messed around here, just putting up the little shack floor here so that you can have a little balcony kind of to go up to. I used the one that looks like a bunch of plywood, and then you want to take one of the small floors, and this is going to be actually the landing pad or whatever you call it for your stairs going up, because if you just put one of the stairs connecting from that floor up there, it would look silly. It would look like it's floating, and NPCs or your settlers couldn't actually get onto it. Place a railing. This next part I will go back to, just because I kind of realized halfway through that if you wanted to put that bureau, like that big thing right there, you couldn't actually put any floor or ceiling above it until that was gone. But if you take that out and then put the floor and ceiling, you can put it back underneath. So basically, again, I put the shack upper floor here again so you could actually put the bureau underneath, kind of make it again look like it's a support, but not really. Just again, you kind of want to make it so that there's nothing for anybody to fall off, or so people can't see up there, people can't see what the hell you're doing. So put a bureau. If you want, you can use a railing or even, you know, one of the end walls, but I like the bureau. It kind of looks like it goes through the thing. And then I placed just one of the smaller tables right next to the stairs, because, you know, it's a little area where you can sit, do your chems, get blasted, blackout, whatever the fuck you want to do. And because it's a raider style settlement, it doesn't have to be perfectly aligned, but you still want to get everything kind of close so you get bigger area up in there. And then this next part, probably most important, just to make it, you know, seem a little bit lore friendly. Not the railing here. You don't really even need one just because the stairs are right there anyway. But it's the support for this shack floor here. So you're going to want to use a bridge, and then, I love it, with the new Raider, Super Mutant Clutter, whatever the hell you want to call it, you're going to actually have these big ass thick supports. I mean, they do use a lot of bone, which is kind of hard to find, but just place them on the bridge. Make sure that the bridge isn't like really that high yet, because if it is, you'll get into the red where the totems are actually going through the floor itself. And make sure it's kind of as flush as possible. You don't want it to be floating, because I mean, again, you're building this on vanilla. It's supposed to be lore friendly. It's supposed to look like a Raiders actually built it, and they don't have some magical antimatter floating shit or whatever the hell you call it. And you just take it up until you see red, and I kind of experimented to see how like far I could do it and where exactly the totems were going to go through. And I don't know if it's just with this style of floor, like the one that again looks like a bunch of pieces of plywood, but you can see it's already pretty much up there on the one that's on the right side there. And you just keep taking it up, keep testing to see how it looks. And yeah, I don't know if it's only for that style of floor where they can go through. I didn't test the other one, but I wanted to keep it, you know, the Raider style with a little variety. But essentially, yeah, you just keep testing it, and you see right there that it goes through, at least for one. And eventually both of them will go through, and then you'll actually get into the red, and at that point you just want to stop. You know, you don't need to go any higher. You can even honestly leave it like that if you want, because you already have one that's pretty much already in there and the other one's extremely close. But it's up to you. You can do it however you want. I just did it like that because I like seeing kind of both supports. I don't know, maybe just mentally I like seeing that they're both up there, and then you see right there it hits the red, back it down really quickly, and you'll actually see both supports up there. So after that, we're going to want to go ahead and actually start creating the second floor. And for this part, I just, you know, wanted to keep it with the variety going, and wanted to have the metal wall, the one that actually is for the door. But again, they make for great windows, so I popped that in there. And the next part here, you have to kind of go back and forth a little bit, but initially what I was planning on doing was kind of making those curved walls there anyway, so in the end it worked out. But I put one of those curved walls, and then I put the other one, the one that's more like a circle wall anyway, so I could use these door things, and they actually snap in place perfectly if you put both of them there. And I know it doesn't, you know, it doesn't snap on the left one there, but it's Raider style. Maybe they didn't have the materials or some shit like that. Then of course, you put the railings, you got some windows, you're good. And this part is the one that I was talking about, where you have to actually kind of delete the wall in the first place. You can put whatever kind of shack wall you want. I like using that one just because I haven't used that one before, except on the front part there. And as you can see, it kind of snapped for a second, but you just have to keep trying it, just keep fiddling with it until you actually get the shit to work. I actually fall off here, and it actually helps me because when I come back up, it's snapped into place and I don't have to do anything else. And as you can see, it, you know, it works. It's good. And then the roof is up to you. I like the metal roofs on the metal curved walls because, you know, it fits perfectly. And this part's up to you as well, but I didn't want to have another space up there just because it seemed like too much. And I love the look of the metal walls and the actual curved roof and the curved everything. So it worked pretty well. And, you know, you have a little area if you want to walk out to. But then this next part here, put a railing, because unfortunately you can't place the end walls to snap unless you do, well, a lot of trickery, but I'll be doing a tutorial on how to do that pretty soon. But for this one, you know, the railing works perfectly. And here I was kind of deciding if I wanted to do all the like the balcony ones, the one with the windows, whichever, and I actually decided to just, you know, keep with the theme because I already have enough of the windows out there anyway through the circle walls and the metal ones, so I just went ahead, made sure that this one was completely closed. This one over here is a little tricky too because I don't know the way it works. Sometimes the walls will snap in immediately, and then you actually have to work out which one goes first. Like that obviously doesn't snap, so you kind of have to work it out. But you can see if you don't have the wall on the right, that back end wall does snap. So snap that there, change up the style of the wall because you don't want any repetition. And then on this one I use the one with the little window because, yeah, it's okay. It's not like a full window where anybody can see what you're doing up there or anything. And then right here, of course you need a place to take a shit, so you have to make one of the little end corner walls, and the one here fits perfectly with that curved metal roof or metal wall, whatever. Put a shitter there, put a toilet, you're good to go. Place the end walls again right here so they snap in place, and after that you're just going to want to put up the actual roof. The roof is up to you. I love using the one with the cloth because you can get a view of the sky at night. Even though there aren't like a ridiculous amount of stars, it still looks pretty good. Looks pretty raider friendly. And the other ones, I just used the big metal one, the really high angled one, and placed it just like that, so it actually looks like it's going up to it. And then I used the lower angled one, and after that you're good. You can decorate it. I ended up making mine into like a chem drug den where I had all my slaves and shit, and down there was like a bathtub filled with all the pre-war money and shit, and it looks good. It looks, not repetitive. It doesn't look like it's out of place or not lore friendly, and from the front, it kind of looks ridiculous, but I still think it looks good, and it doesn't look like it's just floating on top of that shack. Yeah. Alright, thanks everyone.